Bring that mic up and get this timer out of here. Here I am. Hey guys. Okay, it worked. I was worried about some technical difficulties this morning. It's been sort of a crazy one, but here I am. Here we are. This is a little something that we call Breakfast with Disaster, guys. And what that is every Tuesday at 10 a.m., we go live here and we tell you about all the worst things that can happen to you so you know how to avoid them. And how do we know what those things are? We are Serve Pro of the Southtowns and Serve Pro of West Seneca Lancaster. We are the people who get that panicked phone call at 3 a.m. saying, my house is on fire, or my house is flooded, or the fire department just came and put 100,000 gallons of water into this high-rise building. We can handle that. We see these things, and we can tell you all about them. My name is Dan Bauer, and I'm very happy to be with you guys today. We've already got a couple people signing on. Jennifer, Lynn, Diane. Who else we got? Patty, Lisa. I think everybody's sort of coming in right now. I think today is going to be a fun one, a relatively brief one. But it's going to be jam-packed with information from a little bit of research I've been doing. We are talking about the topic of trust, which is, I guess, a heavy topic. It's the day after Valentine's Day. Hopefully everybody had a good Valentine's Day. Nobody had their trust broken. That's a terrible thing to say. I'm sorry for putting that out into the world. But trust is something I've been thinking about a lot since I saw this fella pop across my feed. You may know who this is. You may not. He looks, kind of a dork, to be honest. His name is Simon Sinek. He is an author. He's a speaker. I guess you would call him like a leadership influencer. And given I and probably most other people watching this are a little skeptical of anybody who might be considered an influencer, but generally I think he's pretty good. His whole thing is being optimistic. He's very positive, and he talks a lot about building teams. So he knows what he's talking about, at least in that regard. And I saw something come across my feed that I wanted to share with you guys because I thought, oh, that's a good way to look at things. And it was a video that kind of looked like this. He's doing a talk here, and he's got his white pad. It's sort of his thing. He flips through it and draws little pictures. And I like to see that his handwriting is somehow worse than mine. But he was up on this stage, and he was talking about how he spent some time with the U.S. Navy SEALs, which is an elite organization, as you guys all know. And he was very curious, asking them, how do you guys pick the guys who go on SEAL Team 6? How do you pick the best of the best of the best to be part of this elite organization, one of the highest functioning organizations on this earth of all time? And he said that they broke it down from like this. They drew this graph that you see in the top right corner of the screen. And on the left, it says performance. And on the bottom, it says trust. And he's like, this is how we break it down. Performance refers to your skills, in this case, on the battlefield. But if you want to generalize this, this is like your general skills, your competencies, say, at your job. Trust breaks down to who you are as a person. Are you trustworthy? Do you have those sorts of, I hate to say soft skills, but the sorts of things that will make people rely on you, that people can safely rely on you? And these are the two axes that the Navy SEALs used to pick who's on SEAL Team 6. And what he found, I like the way they put this. And then this is a kind of an un-PC thing to say, but performance, like I said, it's those traditional skills in the battlefield. That's, can I trust you with my life? Trust, and again, these are their words, is, can I trust you with my money and my wife? And, not my phrasing, but that's what they use in the Navy SEALs. And so this is how they broke it down. Here's who they want on SEAL Team 6. You have in the bottom left, you've got your low performance, low trust people. And nobody wants those people, of course. They cannot be relied upon to do much of anything. Top right, of course you've got your high performance, high trust people. Everybody wants these people. They are very, very rare. And remember, this is a relative scale. This is people who have already qualified for the Navy SEALs. There's still going to be this breakdown. So everybody wants high performance, high trust. Nobody wants low performance, low trust. Here's where it kind of breaks down in an interesting way. Those high performing, low trust people up in that top left quadrant, and you have probably dealt with them before at your job, any organization you're a part of. What the Navy SEALs found when they're picking for SEAL Team 6, these people turn out to be toxic leaders, toxic people. They ruin the organization from the inside, no matter how good they are at what they do. And instead, what they would prefer is somebody of medium performance and high trust, or even low performance and high trust, over those high performance, low trust people. because those people can be trained and they contribute, and you can rely on them in a pinch, and they can work as a team. And this is one of the most elite organizations on the planet, and they are preferring those trust skills over those performance skills. And the reason I bring this up is not because most of us are Navy SEALs, but because I think this can be generalized to the work that we all do. Now, most of us on this stream work in some capacity with disasters and emergencies. If you're an insurance professional, you're the person who's maybe getting those panicked phone calls, something's gone wrong in my house. If you're a property manager, you're dealing with tenants, you're dealing with any number of crazy things that can happen in a commercial building of all types. And obviously me here sitting at ServPro, this is what we do every day, is see when things go wrong. So we're all sharing that space, right? How does this trust versus performance breakdown kind of influence what we do? I came across this study, and I've talked about it before. You may have seen this way early on in my tenure here at ServPro, but it's a study from J.D. Power, and they do it every single year. It's called the Property Claims Satisfaction Study. And they gather data from people who have put in any number of damage claims over the past year. So they looked at 2021. They talked to just over 6,000 people who put in homeowners claims, things like that. And they try to sort out what makes those claims go well, what makes them satisfying to people. They feel like they had nobody wants to put in a claim, but do they have a good experience getting to the end of it, or do they have a bad experience? Did they end up canceling? Did they shop their policy around, something that could really affect an insurance agent's bottom line? And we look at this at ServPro because we know that we are a major part of these claims. We are the people who are sort of putting everything back together. And what I found is a couple of interesting things. One is that satisfaction with insurance claims and property damage claims is actually at an all-time high, which I found very surprising. Not very surprising, but you always kind of look for the bad news, and there's no bad news here. They're at an all-time high. People are more and more satisfied, and I can talk to you about the reasons why in a second. That satisfaction breaks down a bit from carrier to carrier, and this is probably too small. I'm more than happy to share this with you after. This is how it breaks down carrier to carrier. At the top, you've got MetLife. USAA, technically, they don't qualify to be ranked because they don't have open membership, but they're also at the top. MetLife, top of the sort of open rankings with a 904 out of 1,000. And they looked, what's the secret sauce that pushed these folks over the edge of this industry average and made them really, really positive experiences for people. And they found basically that it was trust, not performance, as we saw in that little breakdown from Simon. Trust in things that might be associated with those sort of trust skills are what made these claims satisfying to people, caused them not to cancel their policies after those claims were settled, and really just made them, more happy with the process, more likely to refer people to their carrier. If the claimant in this process trusted that someone had their back, that was really the secret sauce, the X factor. And that may seem a little bit obvious, but I think it's important to know that even if the performance-based standards were high, if that trust wasn't there, people still felt taken for granted, they felt taken advantage of. Those sorts of things without trust did not lead to satisfaction. You might wonder how they measure trust. There are a variety of different metrics. They were all communication-based. Were the people they dealt with empathetic? Did they seem to have their facts straight? Did everybody seem like they were sharing information so there wasn't confusion? Was everybody transparent about that information? Was that information communicated clearly and consistently? It's those handful of things that can turn a bad experience into a good experience, and the lack of them, vice versa. I think intuitively everybody probably knows that on some level, but sometimes it's tough to live and work like it's true because everybody's got a boss, everybody's got to serve somebody, right? And the things that we measure, the things that are, maybe our bosses or the carriers or whoever we're sort of reporting to may say are important, are performance-based. It's all about, maybe it's about premiums and settlements and everything like that, that is a lot easier to measure than something like empathy or communication. And I think it's important to know that while, all of those performance-based things are vital to what we do, what makes something a positive experience, and frankly a profitable experience, and, makes everybody happy at the end of the day, it's trust, it's communication, it's empathy. Now, I went through this fairly quickly. If you're interested in digging into the study, you want to know what makes these things tick, comment on the Facebook post. I'm more than happy to share kind of the presentation that I'm working on with you so that you can know how this all breaks down, because I think it's really important for everybody here to understand what makes something work in an emergency, in a disaster. What are the real factors that make things positive, that give people a sense of hope and optimism, and let them see that there's a light at the end of the tunnel when something goes wrong. Sometimes that piece of it is just as important, if not more important, than the nitty-gritty details. So if you'd like to see these numbers, you want to see that carrier diagram, you want to learn more about this study, comment, shoot me an email, send me a text, call me, whatever. I am more than happy to share that with you. I know we're all not Navy SEALs, but I think the work that everybody on this stream now does is important, and it really affects people's lives, and it's important to do it well. With that said, let me know if you want to talk more about those facts. We're going to get right to prize time. Let's get our wheel up. Let me just see real quick who's on. We've got Patty, Lisa, Gretchen, Kathy, Megan, Betty, Kristen, Nicole, Melissa, Noelle, Sam, Kathy. Hey guys, how's it going? We are going to draw our prize for the Serve Pro Mug Club. If you aren't familiar with the Serve Pro Mug Club, it's great. We do a prize drawing every week. You get a fancy schmancy coffee mug with a number on it. We register that number. We draw it at the end of the stream here. And if you're watching the stream and we draw your number, you get a double prize. So it's important. The only way I can know if you're watching is if you comment. So please comment. Please let me know you're here. Give you a second. Hey, Jennifer. And then I am going to spin this wheel. So give you a couple of seconds. I'll get myself all set up. And let's go. We're spinning. We're spinning. We're going. Where are we going to land? Uh-oh, back to the OG numbers here. 118. Ooh, that's Kathy. Kathy Quinn, are you on? Kathy. Danielle, I see you. Kathy, yes. Kathy, you get that double prize. And I'm very happy it's going to you. Kathy is the queen of roof raking. We talked quite a bit about roof raking not too long ago. So now you're being rewarded for your diligent home ownership. So congratulations, Kathy. I will be over in a bit. I'll stop by, say hi to everyone, and I will drop off your prize. Until then, guys, we're going to call it for today. I told you this was going to be a short one, and I want to stick to my word. If you guys want to see that study, just shoot me a text, call me, email me, comment here. I am more than happy to share those factors with you. Until then, I will see you guys next week, and I hope you have a wonderful week and nothing goes wrong. If it does, you can always call me. Thanks, guys.